Talk to me about growing up in Elyria and attending Elyria schools and kind of what your path has been.
Okay. Grew up west side of Elyria, single parent home. Mother was a hard worker. I mean, she made sure we never went without, and just made sure we stayed on the right path. She was never really tight on the reins, so she gave me my freedom, which I felt was a big part of my upbringing as well. So at the same time, I got to make my own decisions, but if I went too far left or too far right, she would always be able to reel me back in. I have a younger sister. I believe I'm 6 years older than her. She's in college right now. She was an athlete just like me. Started playing football in 7th grade. It was a terrible situation. I wanted to quit after the first day, and the coach just never let me quit. He was like, Chase, just make it through the day, come back the next day. Make it through that day, come back the next day. Next thing you know, we finally got to play, and I was pretty good. Got to high school. Same thing happened, didn't want to play. Finally showed up. Next thing you know, Coach Hamilton told me, hey, he's like, you gotta take this thing serious. They give away 70 football scholarships a year. You think you're a basketball player, they only give away 12 of those. Well, there's only 12 of those on one team, so you do the math. Ended up getting my first scholarship offer my junior year from Duke University, where I'd never talked to anyone before. After that, the rest was history. But throughout that time of my recruitment, just trying to figure out who I was as a person and who I am as a young man in the city of Elyria, you go through a lot of battles, you know what I mean? So you go from an elementary school kid where you're just in that neighborhood to a junior high, where now there's 3 or 4 different neighborhoods put in one school, to a high school, to where you may not even talk to anyone you ever went to elementary school with, because you and your identity as a person, you find more and more people like you, and then you choose your own path. So I feel like, for me, growing up in this city, I feel like I represent the community very well. This is a very proud city, a very proud town. They're hard-working people who just get up and grind every day. You know what I mean? Every day, and just try to provide for their families. And at the end of the day, I feel like me coming back and being able to mold and infuse change within the community to help put us on a better trajectory, I said, why not?
That's awesome. If you could take that even further, when you talked about growing up in Elyria and being in that small setting of the elementary neighborhood setting, and then it gets a little bigger each level and grade level that you go to, then you go off to college and you leave Elyria. And what is that like? That kind of drive and grind, and you grow up in the city, and you're right, where everybody's hardworking, they're trying to do things for their family. What did that do for you personally in driving you to where your path took you through college and in the NFL, and what that looked like?
It gave me that mentality, that blue collar mentality. When you come from somewhere like Elyria, and then you move on like how I did to Columbus, there's a saying, when you see more, you want more. So being able to be in that big city environment and see things I'd never seen before, like got to college and just being around individuals who had different experiences and being able to be a part of that melting pot. But still coming from here, it just makes you work that much harder to obtain more, you know what I mean, to have a better life. And then come back here at breaks and points in time when I did, it just, re-solidified myself and just helped me humble myself, no matter how far I went or how big time I thought I was. You can always come here and hit the reset button and be humbled and realize, hey, you come from this. So no matter what, don't take anything you have now for granted.
That's wonderful. You said when you see more, you want more.
Yes.
I have seen with the students in Elyria and other folks like you who've gone on to do things, and you've left this community and you've gone on, and then you've come back for various reasons, and the impact that makes on the kids to see you coming back. You know, you were one of them.
Yes.
And it gives them a whole different kind of motivation and determination. So talk to me a little bit about coming back to Elyria and putting roots back here, and what you hope that will do for kids as you are their role model.
Or I want to be here for a long time, not a good time. So pretty much, I want to make sure whatever I do, it's going to leave a lasting impression. It's going to leave a lasting effect. I don't want to hop into something and it'd be cool for a year or two, and then something happens and it's all downhill. For me, I want to be if you call it I just want to pave the way. You know what I mean? I want to pave the way and make it easier for everyone else to be able to explore, you know what I mean, their passions, explore what they're good at, and figure out, you know what I mean, that there's more than one way to get out of your situation. You know what I mean? There's plenty of opportunities out here. And I just want to bring those to the forefront and let the kids in the community choose from what they have a passion about, and just to see everyone succeed.
A student comes to Save Our Children after school. What is their day?
All right, so when students arrive, the first thing is they eat. I mean, they're provided a hot meal. After that, then it comes time for homework. We actually have teachers and instructors who also work in the Elyria school system, who are actually on Save Our Children staff. So we work on homework and just making sure that's done the proper way, and any questions that the children may have, they get it answered. After that, and each teacher turns in their programming for the week prior. So we go through those and make sure those are up to standard and in alignment with the Elyria City School System. So then they go through programming with the teachers. Once that's done, they may have a bit of time left. Maybe they have about a 15-minute break to where we have some type of physical activity for them to unwind a bit. And then after that, we pretty much switch shifts and everyone gets in the van and they get to go home.
So how important is, I guess I'll ask you just personally, I don't know, you mentioned you were involved in sports as a youngster. I don't know if you were involved in any after-school programs as well, but sports, I would say, is comparable in that kids, once they get into some kind of activity where they can count on it, it's there for them on a regular basis, and the same people are mentoring those programs and in charge of those programs. How important is it for students to have that consistency day to day in their lives through programs like this?
Yeah, I feel like in the times that we're in, there's not really too many constants these days. You know what I mean? One wrong temperature and it can upset an entire situation. So I feel like for kids to have a stable situation to where it's constant and it's routine. You know what I mean? So when you get into a routine, it's pretty much engraved in you. So you can just really just go through it and keep going. And as you continue to do that, you know what I mean, it gets better and better. So I mean, everything's better with repetition. It's called practice. Being an athlete, you practice all the time. So you have to exercise your brain and practice with your brain, just as you would do playing any sport.
I love that. So as you're now here, and you have, I'm sure, all kinds of things in mind for Save Our Children and growing the program. So talk to me about what is the future looks bright for Save Our Children. So what does that actually look like?
The future of Save Our Children, oh man. We talk about this every day and I get a smile on my face every time we get into this type of conversation. But for us, it's really continuing to solidify that relationship with the Elyria City School District, and just making sure we're moving in unison. We love, where we're at now, and we're excited to continue to grow that relationship. There's a lot of big things ahead that I'm just not going to speak on at this time, but I know that here in the near future, there's a lot of things that are going to be able to bring this community together, and just be able to uplift these children to the highest level and to be able to reach their maximum capabilities.
You mentioned community. So Save Our Children, it's open to everybody?
Yes, Save Our Children is open to everyone. There's no demographic. We serve at-risk youth. You know what I mean? They're, you know what I mean? It doesn't matter if you're on the north side of town, south side, east or west. We serve who needs it. You know what I mean? We serve who needs to be served. So any at-risk youth, please reach out.
So how would they get involved? Like, what's the step? If a parent is sitting here watching this, what do they need to do?
I know right now, I mean, times are different, but I mean, they can call in. We'd be more than happy to set up a time for them to be able to come in, walk around, show them what we do. If they feel interested, then we can have them fill out an application and move forward from there.
Excellent.
One reason why I really wanted to come back is because they're already doing things that I believe in, and that's paying it forward. You know what I mean? Going to Ohio State, being a part of that football rich tradition, they always teach you to pay it forward. Don't worry about paying the person back that put you in that position, but just pay it forward and make it better for the next person. And I see Save Our Children doing that all the time. For instance, we have a situation called Walls of Love, where the kids get to take zip ties and different articles, whether it's clothing, toiletries, and things of that nature, and they tie them up on the gate, literally right outside on 2nd Street, for those who need it. And then once, you know, I mean, those articles are gone, we clean it up, and then we rev back up to do it again the next week.
That's amazing, and I have actually wondered, I did not know that Save Our Children was responsible for that. That's been getting so much attention, especially lately.
Yes.
Thank you for that. So, transportation, you know, it's a big issue in Elyria and in Lorain County. Talk to me about that, that ability you have as an organization to go get kids and bring them to the program and take them home.
Yes, we actually have volunteers who are a part of our organization that drive vans. We have several vans that we use in order to pick up children and drop them off after the programming is over with. We follow good protocols. I mean, we have a checklist that we have to go through every day prior to getting in the vehicles to make sure they're, you know, I mean, reliable and dependable and there's nothing wrong with them. When we pick up children, we check temperatures before they get in the van. If they meet temperature requirements, then they come back to the building. If they don't, then we have to tell them that we can send a packet back home or with them or whatever. But we just have to make sure we keep everyone safe in these times. So that's pretty much how that goes.
That's awesome. Anything else you want to say about, you know, taking over the role and what your direction? I know some stuff you guys have in the works that you're not ready to talk about,
Yeah.
but anything else that I didn't ask that you'd like to talk about?
I believe that this community is so awesome. Being able to come back here and put my fingerprint on something that's already, you know what I mean, quite massive and quite, you know what I mean, quite large. It's an honor and a privilege for myself. I'm excited because I get to work with a great group of individuals on a daily basis. All types of, you know what I mean, all types of backgrounds, all different, various ages, different, you know what I mean, styles. It's a nice melting pot of individuals, you know what I mean, and we all come together for a common purpose and a common goal, and that's to see these children succeed. So for me to be able to be a part of this organization is truly an honor. I'm looking forward to getting out in the community and building relationships and just continuing to create more exposure for SOC as a program as a whole to help us grow and reach as many at-risk youth as possible. So I'm happy to be here.